welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name's Cheryl. This is my first video. I decided to recreate this look that celebrity makeup artist, you also know her as DressYourFace on Instagram, decided to do on Christina Milian. I watched her tutorial and this is my take on it. So if you guys like this look, please continue watching.
Start with your favorite primer. Stipple on the foundation of your choice. I'm using Matchmaster by MAC with a Morphe brush. I'm going to highlight using this LA Girl concealer in Creamy Beige, and I'm going to apply it in sort of a triangular shape underneath my eyes. I'm also going to use it down the bridge of my nose and on my forehead and a little bit on top of the lip. So I'm going to use this MAC 287 brush to blend it out. I'm going to bring the product down and also stipple it underneath the eye area to get more coverage. Next, I'm going to use the same Morphe brush I used for my foundation, just to blend it out a little bit more seamlessly. Now that the skin is done, we're going to start the contour. I'm using MAC's Copper Beech. I'm going to start by using the Morphe M512 brush, and I'm going to start with a small amount of product, and I'm going to draw a map on my face in the areas we're going to contour. So we did the cheeks, and we're going to do a little bit around the forehead and then bring it down the bridge of the nose. I'm also going to bring a little bit down the tip of the nose and in the Cupid's bow and underneath the lip. Also, I'm going to add a little bit to the bottom of the jawline to make it appear more sharp. Now that we've got the contour map, we're going to blend it. I'm using the same Morphe brush that I used to draw the contour out. Here you can see the difference between the blended and unblended contour. You really want to make sure it looks nice and diffused. Also, you want to make sure you don't over blend in the nose area. You still want to make sure there's some definition there because it's really easy to erase it if you blend too much. So here is the finished contour look. I'm going to set the skin now using the Morphe G9 brush, and I'm going to use a few different shades of powders to set the highlight and contour areas. I'm going to start off with my highlight. The lightest color I'm using is MAC's Mineralize Skinfinish in Medium Plus. So I'm kind of just pressing the powder down where I had originally put the LA Girl concealer and just buffing it a little bit, not too much because I don't want to move the foundation that I had laid down before this. I'm going to set the contour areas with Mineral Skinfinish in Dark, and I'm just using a round fluffy brush for this. This is just one I picked up from Sephora. I don't know what it's called. And I'm just going to lightly take some of the product down and across my forehead. And I'm also going to bring it down my jawline where I had previously contoured. Next, I'm going to use the Mineral Skinfinish in Medium Golden in all the blank areas that we haven't gone over yet. So this is the one that matches my skin tone the closest, and I'm going to put it a little bit underneath the contour, right on my cheeks, and then in my forehead. Now I'm going to take MAC Pro Light Sweep just to add a little bit of a sheen on the sides of my cheekbones. I'm going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in Brunette to fill in my eyebrows. So first I like to brush them up using the spoolie so I can see the shape and where I'm going to lay my line down. And then I start by accentuating underneath the arch. And I like to flick it up very lightly in the front so it doesn't look super defined, and then I take it through the top as well. I brush it out to make it more diffuse so it looks more like a real brow versus one that's super filled in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other brow, just fill it in lightly and then brush it out with the spoolie. So now that the brows are done, I'm going to prime the eyelids. I'm using a MAC 242 brush and I'm applying MAC's Paintpot in Painterly. And I'm going to very lightly shape underneath the brow and then blend the rest down the entire eyelid. A lot of people like to use concealer to carve out the brow, but I prefer to use the paint pot just because I feel like it stays a little bit better and it holds the eyeshadow longer throughout the day. Starting with the eyeshadow, I'm going to use Texture from MAC, and I'm going to use a 224 brush just to blend it out through my entire crease. So this is going to be our starting color, so everything else that we use is going to blend into this so it doesn't look choppy. Now I'm using a MAC 217 brush and Embark eyeshadow, and I'm staying kind of in the same realm where I started with the texture, but underneath it just to add more depth. I'm going to blend both of those together using the 224 again and just kind of taking it back and forth so it looks seamless. So what I'm doing when I put in the darker eyeshadow, I'm kind of taking it and flicking it up and outwards so you get more of a cat eye effect. Don't be afraid to go back and blend with your 224 as many times as you need to get a really nice even layer of your eyeshadow, or else it's going to look like it's very harsh. Now that the crease is done, we can go ahead and start on the eyelid. I'm going to use MAC's Ricepaper eyeshadow, and I'm really pulling the eyeshadow down onto the eyelid instead of fluffing it all the way around, just so the eyeshadow looks its brightest and most pigmented. You can use any flat brush for this. I'm using MAC's 239. Notice how we stayed underneath the crease colors. Again, that's because we want the most definition and we want it to look more like a cat eye. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process on the other eyelid. Just going to blend a little bit more. Now I'm going to take a white eye pencil just through the waterline. This is MAC's Fascinating Eye Kohl. This is going to make the eyes appear a lot wider and brighter. I'm going to start mapping out my bottom eyeliner using MAC's 266 brush. You can use any angled brush, and I'm using the same eyeshadow Embark from MAC that we had used in the crease to darken it. And I'm just etching it underneath where we did the Fascinating eyeliner, but when I get to the inner tear duct, I'm going slightly downwards to make it look more open. For my eyeliner, I'm going to use Laura Mercier's Creme liner in Noir. And I'm going to use the same 266 brush that I used on the bottom of the eye. I'm keeping my eyeliner a little bit on the thinner side, and I'm using the edges to flip it outwards and make a winged liner. I find it easier for me to start doing my winged liner from the outside of my eye and drag it inward, just so I know how thick it's going to be. I feel like if I start from the inside, I can't get a really uniform line. So now I'm going to draw out the inner tear duct, make it look a little bit more cat-like, and extend it. I'm using a really thin brush. This one is the 210 from MAC, and I'm taking the same black gel liner and really slowly etching it out and connecting it to the bottom. Alright, now that your eyeliner's done, we're going to add some mascara. This one's my favorite, Extended Play from MAC. I don't use anything else. And then we're going to prep ourselves for our lashes. I'm going to use the 48 lash from MAC just because it's really full and fluffy. So I apply a little bit of glue and stick those bad boys on. I'm definitely not the girl that wears lashes every day, so it does take me a while to put them on. So don't feel bad if it takes you forever as well. They're probably the most difficult thing I learned how to do on myself when I was learning how to do makeup. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that mascara on my bottom lashes as well. And the lashes are on! So this is your finished eye look. Look at how fluffy they are. I love the 48 lashes by MAC. They're probably my favorite lashes that MAC has ever made. So now we're going to highlight some more. We're going to use MAC's Soft and Gentle. This one has a ton of shimmer in it, so we're just going to use it along the cheekbones. I'm using the Morphe M501 brush because it's really precise. For the lips, I'm going to start off with MAC Bittersweet Prolongwear Lip Pencil. And I'm just going to shade in most of my lip actually with it and just leave the center bare. And I'm going to fill in the center with Anastasia's Pure Hollywood Liquid Lipstick. And I like to dab this on and press it with my finger just so it diffuses into the lip pencil. Lastly, I'm just going to apply a gloss. This one is MAC Pretty Plush Plushglass, just to give it a nice shimmer and a little bit more fullness to the look. And there it is, this super full coverage, crazy highlight contour cat eye look created by Dress Your Face. I watched this tutorial on her website and this is how I decided to recreate mine.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I really had a lot of fun recreating this look. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I'll post all details in the box below. And feel free to leave me any comments on any tips or tricks or anything else you might want to see. Give me some suggestions for videos you might want me to do. I would love some ideas. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I hope you had fun with me. Thanks, bye!